To be honest, I find it very hard to believe that Henry, when he was in his old shape, was sent to crew in 1934, right after his Kipper crash, considering he was built in 1919 and was around the NWR since the early 1920s. The fact Sir Tom I was starting to lose patience with Henry in his own book, taking place in the 1930s, is baffling to me. Between the 1920s and the 1930s, 2 locomotives were introduced to the LMS by CME Sir Henry Fowler. These 2 classes are the Royal Scots, built in 1927 to 1930, and the LMS Patriots, built in 1930 to 1934. My ideal Henry is that he was built in 1919 by the NWR, Crohn's Great Works, a year after my ideal Northwestern Railway was formed. In his original shape, he didn't have a name, nor was he sentient. He was a faceless machine with the number 203. Like his RWS counterpart, he was tested to see how he handles taking fast mainline passenger services, specifically the Walton Western. However, he would turn out to be a failure due to his small firebox. As a result, he was reassigned to the more slower services, both goods and passenger train related. Over the years, he was fitted with new parts for the steaming issues. However, it proved that these temporary fixes were not working at all. In 1927, Sir Tom and the Railway Board were considering taking Henry off the Northwestern Railway completely. However, Lord Harwick secretly had Tom go onto 203's footplate with his crew, where it was revealed that 203 wasn't using the correct coal for a small firebox. So, Sir Tom ordered that a train of Welsh coal was to be hauled to Teignmouth so they could give 203 a fair chance. Despite the engine being non-sentient at the time, they tried the new coal and 203's performance skyrocketed. In December of 1927, a new train has been formed by the Northwestern Railway. This new train would be called the Flying Kipper, exporting goods and fish. One night of December, 203 and his crew were tasked to take the Flying Kipper from Teignmouth to Manchester. As they traveled on the journey, the run itself was going well until they reached Vicarstown, which is where the point has been frozen by the snow and ice, making it very dodgy. As a result, when 203 was coming through the points, he derailed on the points and kept running until he collided into a goods train directly right behind it, where its brake van was. After the crash, and when it was daytime, the cleanup crew arrived along with the ambulance to take the injured away and to clean up the mess. While the mess was being cleared up, Lord Harwick and Tom discussed the matter of what to do now. It was at that moment they were approached by a man called Henry Fowler, who was the chief mechanical engineer of the LMS during those times. He offered to rebuild 203 into a more powerful engine. After some convincing, Sir Tom and Lord Reggerby allowed it, so 203 was sent to crew to be rebuilt. At crew, 203 would receive a bigger firebox, a new tender, a new cab, some internal work, and a few modifications that would help him run better than his previous design. Once his rebuild was finished, Sir Henry Fowler and his team were celebrating in crew works. However, while they were celebrating, a bright beam of light shined from 203's smokebox, blinding everybody and knocking them out unconscious. The next day, they awoke to find 203 having a face, signifying he's been given sentience. The people at crew were very surprised that 203 suddenly gained sentience, let alone a face. At the same time, they couldn't help but be fascinated. 203 would continue his trials, and once he finished those, he was deemed capable of returning to Sodor and the Northwestern. Before he left, he was named Sir Henry Fowler, after the man who rebuilt him. When he returned to Sodor, he was repainted into the S&M green to commemorate the Sodor Mainland Railway. And once his repaint was done, he was trialed again on the Walton Western for the first time in years. And unlike his previous run, this run would be successful, that Sir Tom would allow him to take the express for 1 week, putting NWR 204 on goods work. After that, he was put back on regular duties, including his job taking the Flying Kipper. So here's Henry Mach 1, generic blue livery, no face or name. And here's current day Henry, painted in Sodor Mainland green, heavily modified, standardized, has a Fowler tender, and has sentience. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.